Joshua Wong, Agnes Chow, the two activists released on bail in Hong Kong. Speaking to media at the moment, Agnes Chow there speaking in Chinese. We did hear from Joshua Wong earlier saying he will face trial on November 8th. For more, we have Ian Marlow, Bloomberg Asia government reporter in Hong Kong for us. Ian, just update us on the latest in terms of what we've heard from these two activists.
Yeah, Joshua Wong and Agnes Chow have come out, two prominent activists who were detained this morning in a move that shocked the city. Both of them have come out, they've confirmed the charges. They said that there'll be a trial on November 8th. Coming up, which is sure to be watched closely. And both of them, they've vowed not to give up their fight. Joshua Wong said, "We will not surrender." He also sent a message to President Xi Jinping of China saying not to send in any troops, that's not the way out. And he had a message for the Hong Kong government as well, encouraging them not to use or invoke these emergency measures that have been a subject of some rumor in recent days, powers that would grant the government power to censor or make sweeping arrests. So some quite dramatic scenes as they stepped out and spoke to reporters there on the steps of the courthouse.
Very dramatic scenes indeed. And what has China's response been so far, Ian?
China hasn't formally given much of a response to the arrests of today, but their general response throughout the unrest in Hong Kong over the last 3 months has been sort of resolute support for the Hong Kong government, standing behind them as they decline to concede to any of the protesters' demands. And as the police in the city have faced increasing criticism over their aggressive tactics and arrests, Beijing has come out and said that they're doing what they can, that the police are in the right and just doing what they can to stop sort of the radical protesters who have been clashing with police.
Ian, it's a difficult question and nuanced, but how are these images being received by the people of Hong Kong? Are they all for the protesters? Is there a mixed set? I mean, we're looking at these images now in New York and London. How are they being received in Hong Kong by the people of Hong Kong?
It's kind of funny. I mean, Joshua Wong in particular played such a prominent role in the earlier Occupy movement in 2014, which shut down parts of Hong Kong for about 79 days. In this movement, the current unrest, it's been a sort of leaderless movement. So Joshua Wong, technically, even though he's a prominent activist and a key leader in the pro-democracy movement, he's not actually behind the protests. So a lot of the people from the pro-democracy activist camp today were sort of saying, you know, he's just one among many, and that they're trying to say that the arrest of him or Agnes Chow, despite their prominence, won't dampen anyone's enthusiasm for the protests. That said, there is a decent contingent in the city, sort of more moderates or sort of pro-establishment figures who just kind of want to see an end to the unrest. They don't like. It's now that we're going into the sort of 13th week here of weekly protests, sometimes daily protests. So there is a bit of a sense of unease among some about especially the more radical tactics of the protesters.